Thank you for staying with us. Now we're being joined by another panel. Well, not really a panel, but we're joined by someone else who is a journalist as well as a public affairs analyst, Mr. Ayobami Ladipo. Thanks for joining us on the program today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Very well. So, is it doable, 30,000 naira as a minimum wage?
Absolutely yes. Which I don't see. I don't see any issues in it.
Yet we're having issues with the 18,500.
With what?
18,000 naira at the moment.
Whatever issues they have with that is left to the government to clarify that angle. Now, the presidency through the Minister of Employment, Labor and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, as at February or March this year, had announced that the new minimum wage will take effect in the third quarter of 2018. Now, this is November. This is the last quarter. The year is just about 6-7 weeks to go, and nothing has been approved. No concrete agreement till now. What amazes me till today is the fact that our recurrent expenditure on the executives alone takes a huge chunk of what can actually be spread across several arms of either government or even across workers. Workers' welfare in Nigeria has never been handled reasonably. I don't know why a supposed 65,000 naira had been argued over and over, brought down to 22,005, even when the federal government is willing to pay 25,000. Now, federal government has said we can pay 25,000. Federal government has agreed. Some states are willing to meet up the 5,000 naira so they can pay 30,000, while some are saying no, we can only pay 22,005.
Which states are saying they can meet up with the 30,000?
Okay, a funny one. A state like Kano, in a list that I saw, is willing to pay 30,600. I don't know what the 600 is for when labor is asking for 30K.
Oh yeah, but I mean, if you look at a state like Kano that has a lot of industries, perhaps they have some revenue coming in from those places.
Perhaps Oga might just be trying to share the dollars.
Well, that's a different thing, entirely. But I mean, if a state like Kano is saying that it's going to pay, they can't pay 30,000. Why not? That means.
Lagos, I think what I saw about Lagos, the governor said is consulting the elders. I'm sure a state like Lagos should be able to pay. A state like Rivers should be able to pay. Virtually South states should be able to pay that.
So what about the states that cannot be able to pay?
You don't have the same workforce in all the states. If you have a million, what's it called? A million civil servants in Lagos. If you have 2 million in Kano, you cannot have the same 1 or 2 million in a state like Ekiti. You can't have the same 1 or 2 million in a state like Osun. They should be able to pay. These people get allocation. And it's not like there's a very wide margin between their allocations. They get allocations.
So if they pay,
yes.
You say they can't pay. If they pay, how do they execute projects, roads, healthcare, schools, hospitals?
Now, when they've not paid, how many roads have been done? How many schools have been built? How many hospitals have been built? How well have they handled healthcare in Nigeria presently today? So either they pay or not, let's face reality. I'm sure that NLC believes that this is the best time to hold the government by its balls. And that's why this is the time that they can actually stand their ground to make sure that the Nigerian workers get something tangible. 18,000 is not worth it.
Why now?
Why now? Like I said, it appears like a bit of politics. But I feel that, on a personal, I feel that it is the best time that the NLC can actually hold the government by balls. Campaign is just about a couple of days away. So they know that for you to go and campaign, you need the people. And would you campaign to the people when you cannot take care of their welfare? The workers' welfare is... How much is 30,000 naira? It's still less than $1. It's still less than $100.
Why did the NLC shun a meeting that was supposed to, talk about these negotiations?
That is left to the NLC to explain or to defend. But apparently, it is obvious that they don't want any last-minute plea. They don't want any last-minute settlement. That is what I feel. I feel that maybe they are trying to be very sincere. Maybe they are trying to avoid bags, avoid some sharing of bags or whatever. But I feel that they are just trying to make sure that they get this one right, to get this 30,000 for the people, get it for the workers. Workers' welfare is paramount. but it has been handled in a very bad way.
Well, let's hope it's handled in a very good way moving forward. I mean, that's not to say that I agree that it's been handled in a bad way.
I feel it's been handled in a bad way because 30,000 naira is still less than $100 that you expect a Nigerian worker to get at the end of the month. Less than $100. No. It's not fair. When our senators are the most expensive senators in the world and the workers get less than $100 per month, it's sad.
So are you saying that all of those should be cut? I mean, you made mention of
Yes,
recurrent
that's why I
expenditure.
said recurrent expenditure. These people live fat on what? On the sweat of the Nigerian workers. So it's sad. It's just a selected few that sits down and dictates the pace, that swallow everything that belongs to over 170 million Nigerians.
Well, let's wait and see how that will play out, but they're threatening to go on strike despite a court injunction
it's just about 24 hours to go,
stopping them from having that strike. But let's wait and see how that will play out. But again, I have to say thank you for joining us on the program again. My Bamiladipo, CEO, Posh Classy Media. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
I will take a break and we'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us.
The video of the army locating the shallow grave where the missing General Idris Al-Khali was buried begins this week's most viewed videos on our YouTube channel in 5th place.
If you are all here, let's wait for this.
We needed to create an alternative, an option for Nigerians, right? For me, PDP, APC has become different sides of the same coin. And at that time, the conversation was, let's give Nigerians another option. And I think, this has come to the fore, because if you complain about the folks in APC, the folks in PDP to me are no different. And you could see it in their primaries. The way money was spent.
It is followed by that of presidential hopeful Donald Duke, explaining why he wants the top job in Nigeria. The third spot sees former President Olusegun Obasanjo endorsing PDP's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar for the presidency come 2019. In second place is former Ekiti State Governor reporting at the headquarters of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC.
I am here to, in line with my promise that I will be here on the 16th of October. And like I said to EFCC, they should wait, await my arrival. This morning they've been to my house, they've condoned up my street, which I feel personally is unnecessary. Is unwarranted. When the man says he's coming, Nigerians should be given the benefit of the doubt. I have led Ekiti, and the best I could give, I've given.
And the first spot is taken by the fracas that ensued in the upper legislative chamber after the Senate President declined Senator Akpabio's request to speak.
And that's the program this week. Thank you for watching. I'm Victor Matthias. Do remember, the conversation doesn't end here. It continues via the social media addresses showing on your screen. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.